to the college, I felt new, like wearing hijab and burqa. I felt like what they gonna say, what bus conductor gonna say me, and what teachers gonna say me, and what friends gonna react with me. And I was like, okay. And after I came to college, hi Jeffrey, and everyone was like feeling good itself. I felt good. I felt proud to be in this college and in India, and plus Bangalore. It's nice, but some of them are like racism. They are seen like racism. It's nothing to be wear hijab. It's nothing. It looks beautiful actually. Some of the Hindus are like to wear hijab. They, my friends are gonna say me, please give your hijab. I'll wear and see. They say like this. You look so beautiful in the hijab. They say like it's nothing.
Everyone should be given that liberty to do as they like, because as I want my turban, it's the same way the other woman wants her hijab. So I think we should not have it forcefully removed.
99.99% मेरा हिसाब हर छात्र को एग्ज़ाम अटेंड किए हैं सरकार का नियम
By the hijab issue, it is a strategic way to attack the Muslim community, to stop Muslims from being educated, to stop an entire section of Muslims from from questioning the government, from reading, from writing, from mingling with other communities, from being secular, from being tolerant. This is a very, very direct way of the government to attack the Muslim community.
ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಿಜಾಬ್ ನಂತರ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫುಲ್ ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಸತ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ದೂರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ. ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟು ಕೆಲವು ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಲಿಟ್ರಸಿ ರೇಟ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿದ್ದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಮತ್ತು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಮೈನಾರಿಟಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಭಾಳ ಆಸಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ವಿದ್ಯೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಲಿಟ್ರಸಿ ರೇಟ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತದೆ.
We have tried to demand from the government, where is the information? If there is 100% attendance, where is the proof? Because for PU college examinations, they take daily subject-wise attendance. So we need to see that what the CM is saying is true, because it's not.
Karnataka, in December 2022, we started hearing reports of 6 girls in a PU government college who were refused entry into the campus because they were Muslim women who chose to observe the hijab. And ever since, there has been continuous tensions on college campuses because Muslim students in different districts of the state have been refused entry into classrooms, into examination halls, etc. in the aftermath. So when this entire thing began, civil society organizations in Bangalore, one coalition had in fact gone on a solidarity visit to speak to some of these girls to understand what is happening. And the testimonials that came out of this exercise were shocking, because the extent of rights violations that the women had experienced, it was high time that all of us saw it as a human rights issue and rally behind the Muslim community, which was trying to fight back with a lot of courage and must say with a lot of grace and dignity. And so as a part of the different civil society efforts that were being taken on at that point, PUCL also joined in these efforts and decided to do a detailed study on what exactly is happening on the ground. Why are these women being refused entry? Who is behind this? What is the response of the education department? What is the response of the police? So on and so forth. And as things progressed in March, we also saw that police, media, etc. were acting against their own code of conduct, and in fact were entering college campuses. There were reports that in certain districts the media had done sting operations in the houses of women who were affected by this de facto ban. And these were all things that needed to be documented, and this really was an effort in doing that. And right when the case, the 6 girls, some of them went to the High Court to see if there are constitutional remedies that they can possibly avail. And at that point we felt that a strong also civil society response needed to be placed before the High Court to add more strength to the fight that the Muslim girls were putting up. And we released the first part of this report, which was an interim report in September 2022, that is last year. And that report was also tabled before the Supreme Court during the hearings. And subsequently, we continued to work with various Muslim, community organizations in some of these districts to get in touch with the girls, with the school management, with their parents, teachers, different government departments, etc., to really pull together something comprehensive which can be now again submitted to the Supreme Court. So that is in a gist, what we were doing. And today, of course, being Fatima Sheikh's birth anniversary, we wanted to release this report on that day because she was somebody who fought for education of women, not just Muslim women, but she did a lot for the empowerment of women across the country. And we thought it would be fit to mark her anniversary through the release of this report. One thing is that the testimonies of the women speak for themselves. What we have managed to put together is something that different media houses and different other organizations, some of which are community organizations themselves, have also found through their documentation, is that there is a series of rights of the Muslim women that have been violated, not just by the college management, but actively by the state as well. Their right to education, their right to dignity, their right to privacy, their right to autonomy, agency, and their right to freedom of expression, their right to choose the religion of their choice, and adhere to practices that they deem fit for themselves. All of these rights have been violated by the college management, by the education department, by other wings of the state, by the police, by the media, and in many senses, the society has failed. Not just these Muslim girls, but the Muslim community in its entirety. And speaking to different state agencies also revealed to us that there's absolutely nothing that the state is doing to find how many women have been affected by this de facto ban. No steps are being taken to, in fact, remedy them for the loss in education, for the mental health cost that they have had to bear, for the stress that their parents have had to bear, the financial cost of fighting this battle with no less than the state itself. And like we also pointed out in the press conference, that yesterday a lot of media houses in Karnataka had reported that the enrollment of minority students in government institutions for their PU education has fallen by almost 50%. And this was a pattern that we had observed even when we were speaking to different students and teachers and parents, and now we have figures to back this. And this kind of documentation is also important for us to hold the state accountable and to ask them to answer some of these questions that we're raising about how they failed an entire community of women, an entire community in the society this way. So these are some of our critical findings. The continuous incidents of mob lynching that has become commonplace in the country today, or the economic boycott of street vendors, which Karnataka has been witnessing more and more as each day goes by. I can just keep going like this about the various ways in which the Muslim community is being targeted. So we definitely wanted to add more strength to the fight that the community was putting up, because if you had followed today's meeting, this is not only a Muslim issue. This is not only a Muslim women's issue. It's a women's issue. It's a human rights issue, and it is imperative that each one of us speaks up. If we believe in the vision of the Constitution, we definitely must stand behind any community that is fighting majoritarian violence, and that was the motive behind it. to be able to add more strength to the fight that the Muslim community was putting up. Yeah.
Ma'am, recently Karnataka CM denied the drop of Muslims after the hijab ban because he made a statement.
See, the making statements in the media is one thing, and giving out actual government data to substantiate what one is saying is an entirely different thing. So far in our work that we've done, this is something that the work on the report we started sometime in June, and from June onwards till today, we have no concrete government data that has been put out to support any of the claims that the government is making. And in fact, this was one of the major roadblocks that advocates in the Supreme Court faced when they were arguing on behalf of the women earlier last year, in October, November, December, where the judges continuously asked the councils to produce data to substantiate the claims they were making, and there was absolutely nothing, neither in favor of the government nor against the government. So that just shows that big void that exists. These women have been thrown out of their educational institutions, and nobody cares what happens to them thereafter. And there's nothing that the government is doing either to substantiate their own claim, or to even make it to actually investigate what has happened and how many women have actually dropped out of education. If their concern is uniformity, but they still stand by the fact that we have to do beti bachao beti padhao, we must have had figures by now. The fact that we don't clearly points at the fact that whatever has happened in the last 1 year and more with respect to the hijab issue has definitely been actively pushed for by the state government, and unless they are able to prove the contrary, this is something that civil society organizations will continue to say, because that's what their actions are pointing to.
Now the Supreme Court has passed a judgment split verdict. So what will happen next now? How things can change? Do you think possibilities are there of changes?
Now that there is a split verdict, it definitely means that the Karnataka High Court order that was passed on 15th of March last year will be in force, which means that there will continue to be a restriction on the hijab in those institutions where the CDC has prescribed a uniform and said hijab is not a part of the uniform. So that means that the futures of lakhs of Muslim women in the state of Karnataka will continue to be uncertain. What lies ahead in terms of the legal course is concerned is that the Chief Justice of India has to constitute a bench to hear the matter, given that it's a split verdict. There has to be a new bench which will hear the matter afresh and give their verdict on it. The only appeal that we'd like to make, both from PUCL and I'm sure we can speak on behalf of other civil society organizations, is the appeal is that the Supreme Court constitute this bench at the earliest, and the hearings commence, and perhaps also they get over at the earliest, and the girls are told what their future is, because otherwise they're going to keep having to wait, painful wait, to understand where their careers and where their futures, and where perhaps many questions of citizenship itself that this issue brings out, where that's going to take.